We are about to reach the climax of the first part of Boruto. The first part of Boruto dealt with the question of what is a shinobi and how one should act. This is what we see in Boruto when he goes from a cheater to a true shinobi who sacrifices his life for the good of the village. But this will come to an end in the second part of Boruto, as we will now learn what it means to be an Otsutsuki. We will finally see the race between Kawaki, Code, and Boruto on who is going to be the next Otsutsuki god. Some will go from planet to planet devouring chakra fruits, and others will find their own way of getting stronger. But right now, one person has the advantage, as he has acquired the most useful pawn for his plan. Kawaki has Ida on his side, and their relationship will lead to the destruction of countless of planets as Kawaki strives to become a god. So we all know that Ida is in love with Kawaki and doesn't see Boruto as an option. According to Ida, it is because of his age, as Boruto is 12 and she is 16. But according to Damien, it is just because of Boruto's face. Whatever the reason is, Ida doesn't seem to see Boruto as an option, and she has made it clear to Boruto that if he is to do anything that will get in her way, she would deal with him swiftly. Kawaki, on the other hand, hasn't shown too much interest in Ida, and he seems quite annoyed at first. But it is quite clear that after talking to Naruto and coming up with his plan to kill Boruto again, he will put up with Ida because 1. She is in love with him and is on his side. 2. Damien is a lot stronger than most people who Kawaki is around. And 3. Ida has a lot of influence and power, especially when it comes to controlling a large group of people with her Riz ability. This is where I have noticed something very interesting, dealing with Kawaki and Ida's relationship, and how I think Kawaki could end up using her. The thing is, the more and more I pay attention to the relationship that Kawaki and Ida have going on, the more I notice their relationship being quite similar to one that Light had with Misa Amane. First of all, I'm not saying that Kawaki and Light have the same IQ, or even that Kawaki possesses the Death Note. However, they have a similarity with the women who are around them. In Death Note, Light Yagami had a girl who was obsessed with him. This girl's name was Misa Amane. She was so obsessed with Light that Light ended up using her to do whatever he wants. This was because in her eyes, Light Yagami was her only true option. She only saw him as a suitable option, because Light Yagami ended up being the one who saved her life. Because of that, she only saw him as a person that she could love. Just like how Ida views Kawaki as her only option. But there is a few differences that we have to point out. 1. Ida is a lot more logical than Misa was. She literally was behind the whole strategy that Code had, and was the one really giving Code the pointers and the things he had to do to be successful. So I think that Kawaki will use her in a more subtle way, because at the end of the day, Kawaki is her only option. So as long as Kawaki doesn't tell her to do something that would end up harming her, I believe that she will do anything Kawaki says. And all of that means one thing: Boruto is in the worst position right now. Not only is he not one of the strongest people around, but the people who are backing him right now, like Mitsuki, Sadara, Shikadai, they are all weak, so they are basically useful and serve no true purpose. Which means that Boruto finds himself in the worst chess position ever and is about to get checkmated by Kawaki. The destruction of the Hidden Leaf. This is an event that is bound to happen, whether it is Code who destroys it, or an Otsutsuki invasion that happens and destroys the village. Whatever it is, I know for sure that the village is going to be destroyed. We literally see it in the first episode of Boruto. This is the moment where Kawaki will go through another phase of trauma, leading to the Kawaki we see in the time skip. This is where Kawaki and Ida's relationship will come in clutch, as Kawaki will rebuild the village alongside Ada. However, this will not be your typical village where people vote for the next Hokage. This won't be the case, as Kawaki will set in place his tyranny, and there will be no regular human who could go against Kawaki, as Kawaki now has Ada on her side, and all shinobi and regular human will be under Ida's love ability. This is why a partnership between Kawaki and Ida is a lot more dangerous than most people think. Not only because of Ida, but because Damien is one of the strongest people around right now. If Kawaki and Ida join together, this means that Damien will also be there as he follows his big sister's instructions and orders. This is how Kawaki will rebuild a new and corrupt version of Konoha. His method will be similar to the previous Sasuke and one of the ideologies that he shared at the past. Kawaki will gain so much influence and power so that all the people around him will fear him equally and they won't think of defying him. This is where Kawaki would enforce peace on everyone as he would be at the top and nobody would go against him. They would all follow his every command. This will mark the beginning of Kawaki's tyranny and the end of Shinobi. However, what about the GOAT? What about Boruto? How far will their love affair go? To be honest, I just can't see Boruto and Sadara ending up together in the near future. There has been a constant amount of moments and scenes that have made people believe that Boruto and Sadara is a potential relationship. To be honest, I did see it too at a certain point, but right now I just can't see it happening based off everything that is going to happen. Boruto has to go through his dark prophecy that Momoshiki keeps on repeating over and over again. So I don't think that when that happens, Boruto will feel any sort of love for anybody around him. And I think that the people around him might just hate him, causing him to leave. Do you think that Boruto's future will have anything to do with love, and especially for Sadara? Let me give you two scenarios. The first one has to deal with Boruto and how everything could lead up to him losing hope. Let's say, for example, Code invades the village and everybody goes to fight and protect the village. During this fight, Boruto runs out of chakra or experiences something to make him lose control, causing Momoshiki to appear and take over. Just like what happened the last time Momoshiki took over, he might work with Code again and they might work together and destroy the village, killing Sasuke and then leaving off somewhere else. The most likely scenario is that Momoshiki, while he's controlling Boruto's body, ends up killing Sasuke over Code. Do you really think that Sadara will just stand there and fight alongside Boruto? Do you not remember what Sadara said about potentially being the one to stop Boruto? She won't take Boruto's side. She will actually take the opposite route, as it is completely logical, as Boruto has almost killed his father. This will be the moment that could potentially end any possibility of Boruto and Sadara ever being together, as if Boruto kills Sasuke, every time that Sadara sees Boruto, she will be reminded of the death of her father. This would be too hard on Sadara, and we shouldn't expect her to forgive and move on immediately. It would be something that would take a lot of time, and with the climate of the timeskip and how dark it appears to be, I don't think it will be one about love and a happy ending. I just can't see that happening. But there's also one scenario, and that is that Kawaki actually kills Boruto for a second time. This could mean that Momoshiki actually finds a way to switch vessels from Boruto to a different person, just like what happened in Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know exactly how it could go. Maybe Momoshiki is to possess Code in some type of way. That would be crazy, and I wouldn't mind if that actually ended up happening. But it would mean that everything that happened from then on wouldn't be Boruto's fault, and Boruto would then be left alone. Everybody would think that he had died, and nobody could really do anything at this point. But what would really happen is that the Dragon would take over, and Boruto would probably come back with the Dragon, after probably talking with Tonori or dealing with some sort of new prophecy that Boruto would gain. Boruto has to lose everything first before he takes on his destiny of saving everybody around him. This is why you have to watch this video right here, as I discuss everything that could lead to the time skip and what Kawaki has done and what Boruto has done too.